Hey everyone, although I have here a lift and I'm in the garage, we're going to do another video on DIY maintenance. So what I'm having here on the BX rear spoiler, which I'm using as a bench, is 2 gallons of engine oil, oil filter, and those 2 little bottles. Those bottles are from ICT Oil Labs, an oil lab from Israel in Kfar Saba, and I'm going to take a sample of the engine oil of a 306,000 kilometer engine and check what the results show about the condition of the engine. So let's get started. So before we start the car, we can see that this oil is already very black. It's common in diesel engine like this one. And now I'm going to start up the engine and let it work for a couple of minutes and make the oil a little bit hot. Okay, now we have our 2 oil samples. It's so black you can't see through it. Let's send it to the lab. So I went to an oil analysis lab and went through my oil test results with the lab owner to understand what each parameter means. So let's get to the key points and go through each parameter. Let's start with viscosity, measured at 40 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius. This value represents the oil's resistance to flow. The viscosity we got matches the engine oil that was in the sample. When the viscosity does not match expectations, there could be several reasons. The first one, high contamination. Too many contaminants in the oil will affect its viscosity properties. Second, water content. High water content makes oil thicker. Unless we're talking about over 10% water, then viscosity starts to drop. Contrary to common belief that water is thinner than oil, the reaction together creates a thicker fluid. The third reason is oil overheating. Excessive heating causes oil oxidation, which increases viscosity. The fourth reason is fuel in the system. Low viscosity can indicate fuel presence in the oil system, usually from leaky injectors. The fifth reason is oil top-ups. If you've added oil between services, viscosity might drop and not match what you expect from oil that's worked for thousands of miles. And the last reason is if you mix two different oil with different viscosities. The next parameter is viscosity index. That's a number that corresponds to our 5W30 oil. Flashpoint. This parameter is tested when viscosity is abnormal, raising suspicion of fuel contamination. The test measures the temperature at which the fluid ignites. A relatively low temperature would indicate fuel presence in the oil. Base number. This parameter estimates the concentration of additive in the oil. Those additives meant to clean soot from engine parts and essentially blacken the oil. The newer the oil, the higher the base number we will get. Around 6-7 for fresh oil. Over time, the base number drops because the oil uses up those additives. Acid number. This is the acidic reaction of other additives, and this value increases as oil is used more, since it's oxidized over time. These two parameters give us an estimate of oil condition. As long as the base number is higher than the acid number, the oil is still good. But if things are reverse, it's a sign the oil has done its job and needs replacement. Looking at this specific test, done exactly 1 year after the last service and 905,000 kilometers, you can see the oil almost reached the threshold between good condition and requiring replacement. The common recommendation is to service every 50,000 kilometers or 1 year, and you can see the oil really almost hit that limit. You should remember this next time you think it won't be terrible to postpone your annual service just because the car didn't drive much this year. We'll keep going to water content. As the name suggests, this checks how much water is in the oil. Water presence after an extended period is logical. It enters the oil system naturally through condensation when there are temperature differences between inside and outside, and humid air become liquid that penetrate the oil system. Since oil reaches very high temperature, water present in it will evaporate. But in an engine that doesn't work much or doesn't reach high temperature often, or even if the sample was taken after the car set without driving, there will still be water presence, like in this case, in moderate amounts. Additional water entry could occur through coolant leakage, whether through a head gasket or oil cooler, but then we'll also see glycol presence, which is what coolant is made from. In this case, there is no glycol presence, so the water in the engine oil doesn't come from coolant. By the way, even if there's no water in the oil, you can still find glycol because water itself evaporates but glycol remains. So this test is important either way. We'll keep going to the next part, which is wear metals concentrations. This test is done by burning the oil in an electric arc at around 2000 to 2500 degrees Celsius. Information about the light emitted from the burn is collected and decoded to get data about each element's concentration in the oil. There are various metals that different engine parts are made from, so it's reasonable to find metal particles in engine oil that collects them. Too high a concentration of certain metal particles indicate a lubrication problem or mechanical failure in one of the engine parts. We start with iron. It's a common metal used in many engine parts. Copper usually used for bearings. Chromium mainly used for piston rings coating. Aluminum is a material that the engine block is made from, as well as pistons in most modern engines. Lead is a soft metal, so
bearings are made from it too. Nickel can be used for valve coating or piston rings, but apparently not in this case. Tin is a metal used for soldering various parts. And silver is not commonly used in motor engine manufacturing, but some diesel engines have silver bearings. In this test we see that metal particle concentration is low, so the engine is healthy with no particular problems. And we are here at the last part, additive elements and contaminants concentrations. Engine oil contains about 70 to 80% base oil and roughly 20% additives designed to improve oil performance, prevent foaming, cleaning agents, and lubricants. The first four additives, calcium, magnesium, manganese, and barium, are common in cleaning agents. Zinc, phosphorus, and boron are common additives that improve lubrication and reduce wear. Silicon is an anti-foam additive that can form from cleaning agents naturally. Additionally, it's found in sand and dust. So, if we saw a relatively high amount, 30 or 40 and above, it will indicate sand and dust presence in the engine, usually from the intake system or faulty filtration, and it resulting in accelerated wear. High sodium and potassium values 40 and above can also indicate coolant presence. Since values here are low, it's likely there is no coolant in the oil. Molybdenum is used in some alloys, so engine parts contain it. And high concentration can indicate wear or coolant presence, which also contains molybdenum. Beyond that, it's a wear prevention additive. To rule out results indicating malfunction, you need to compare the results to values matching the tested engine oil. In this case, the tested oil indeed contains molybdenum in similar concentration. Lithium is a component in grease, a lubricant that's used in certain work on certain parts. In this case, there is no grease penetration into the oil, but this could be more common in gear oil tests. Overall, the test results are normal and match what you'd expect from diesel oil and engine that have been together for this period of time. That's all for today. Let me know what you think and whether this video expanded your knowledge about oil systems.